Hi, my friends. Welcome to Narcissist Thriver channel. I want to talk to you today about how the narcissist hooks you. So, stay with me, folks. Imagine walking into a world that seems custom made just for you. Every word, every gesture, every experience seems absolutely perfect. It's like stepping into your favorite dream. Welcome to the Holosuite. But this isn't Star Trek, it's narcissistic abuse. A Holosuite tailor made, custom made just for you. And you are the unwitting victim of this sick, twisted illusion that is the narcissist holosuite. For me, the holosuite started when I went on holiday last year for a week. Going on holiday, first holiday in over a decade overseas. He met me in the spa. He was the hotel worker at the spa. It all started with hola and an intense gaze. I was drawn in like a moth to a flame. He said he likes my energy, and we spoke about many things. He was passionate about his country, his history, his culture, conservation, saving the turtles, and he took a big interest in me too. A big interest. And before I knew it, he was offering to take me to see the local town, the capital of the island, and a free tour. How could I say no? He was handsome, he was friendly, he was knowledgeable, and he seemed to be really ambitious and had drive. So that's how it started. He sucked me in, basically, by mirroring my hopes, my dreams, my fantasies of a better life, meeting someone that was hardworking. He came across as someone that just wanted a better life, but was the unfortunate victim of the system, the government, the economic environment that he found himself to be in. But it wasn't going to stop him. And he had drive and passion, and he was going to make it. So that made him seem very alluring to me. He also was very attentive. When we were out, he tended to me. He was very affectionate, not in a smothering, creepy way, just very affectionate, attentive, should I say, more attentive, and showed a big interest in me, shared a lot of passions that I shared, wanted to travel the world, loved music, loved good food, loved the outdoors. So it just seemed like we had so much in common. Two souls that were meeting, that although we came from different worlds, different environments, we had this commonality, and it felt strong. It felt like a connection, an emotional connection quite soon. And I came away feeling like this connection is quite something. After the first day, that he took me around, it seemed like neither of us wanted to leave each other, but we did. And we saw each other again before the end of my holiday. And he said to me he just wanted to make my last days special just for me. I was drawn in by it. I was just touched that someone would want to do something like that for me. We seemed to click, we seemed to connect. We both enjoyed each other's company, and it just seemed amazing. But this is how they draw you in, because perhaps he saw me and he thought, she's by herself. She hasn't been on holiday for a while. She doesn't have a partner. She's here alone on holiday. And I don't think I came across as lonely, because I was quite happy to be away on holiday. I was happy-go-lucky, and if anything, I had just blinders on. Was busy, just got a job, wasn't completely happy in it, but it's a well-paid job, and it was my first opportunity to have a break in a long time. So, meeting him, seeing him, someone offering to show me the area, and I didn't ask, he just offered. It just felt great. And then connecting with him felt even better. But this is how they draw you in. It seemed perfect. Just like a Holosuite. You join the Holosuite, you go in, everything is tailor-made exactly to how you would want it to be. You don't notice anything wrong. It just seems perfect until it doesn't. And that is when the issue starts. But until that time, you're in this holosuite that the narcissist has created, custom made for you. They'll create a custom holosuite for every unwitting victim. Every holosuite custom made to them. And you're in there, and they will project all your hopes and dreams. And when you think that they are connecting, that you're connecting, no, they're not connecting. They're not connecting at all. They're feeding. They're feeding off of you, basically. They see your hopes, your dreams, and they mirror them. Your interests, your hopes, your dreams, and they've got this sense. It's like a seventh sense, basically. And for many of us that were raised in narcissistic households, had narcissistic caretakers, we are basically groomed to serve, if you want to call it that, or cater to their needs. And they sense it. They're drawn to us like moths to a flame, because we were groomed like that for them by our caretakers, who were them. So that's the thing. That is the hard thing. When you think that you have made a connection, it's not a connection. It's mirroring. It's love bombing. I've had an amazing day. I don't want this day to end. I remember sending him a message after that day and saying, really don't want this day to end. I've had a great day. And he said, I felt it was an amazing day, and I haven't felt this way in such a long time, and I'd like to see you again, and I'd like to make your last days really special. So now, with discerning eyes, I can see when he took me around, there there were some signs that I should have actually been cautious about. The first day he met me, no, not the first day. The first day he took me to the town, he took me to the town. We went to his house and I sat in the hallway, which is fine, while he got dressed in his room. And then he went to see his son. And he took me in to see his son at the kindergarten, which was behind his home. And that seemed strange because in the hotel spa, he said to me, I've got a son. And that was like day one. And I was thinking, why are you telling me this? But I didn't want it to seem cold. You know, that was red flag number one. And it's not that you should hide that you've got children or anything like that, but it was just out of context that he was telling me this, and it just seemed strange. And then, but I brushed it off. You know, I didn't want to seem heartless because it's like, I know what that's like. And there was a part of me that was thinking, why is he telling me this? But another part thought, well, he is quite brave for just telling you this from the get-go. And there's no expectations. It's not like you're dating or anything. Then when we went to town, I wasn't expecting him to call me into the kindergarten to meet his son. You know, he's just taking me about. Why do I need to meet his son? That was red flag number two, but I brushed it off. Said, you know, maybe it's their culture. Maybe that's the way they are. We spent a whole day together. You know, afternoon, after we'd finished work, a whole afternoon. He took me to the beach. We swam together in the sea. He took me around the town. He took me to meet friends of his. I met some of his family as well. And there wasn't a part of me that was thinking, is this a bit too much too soon? I was just, you know, swept up in all of it, that this is a great day that I'm having. And I just didn't want it to end. You know, but over the next few days, my holiday, he called me every day. There were a lot of messages and calls in the evening, video calls while I was at the hotel, in between us meeting a second time. And that was my time and my attention that he was taking, that he was feeding off, that I didn't actually think about at the time as being that. But if I think about it, you know, he was basically taking my time away, time that I would have just naturally just been exploring on my holiday. I was out there just spending that time talking to him in an evening. I did go out and do things, don't get me wrong. I was going out, I did some tours and things like that, and you know, I was still doing my spa treatments, and I went out and I did things. But you know, when I came back to the hotel in the evening, as there was nothing to do in the hotel and it was far out from the town centre, you know, maybe a good 30 miles or so, 40 miles, he would call me and he would talk to me for a long time, knowing that he's got a young son, just locking me in with time and attention and finding out, I guess, more about me to continue to tailor this custom-made Holosuite fantasy for me, you know. So it felt quite intense. It felt like an intense connection. But that's not what it was. It was manipulation. It was locking me in, basically, and getting me emotionally invested. You know, everything just felt amazing. But the script had already been written for me, and he'd planned it all. And me, I was like a sitting duck to it all. So that's how they get you. They scan you. They scan you, and then basically they mirror your desires and your values and your hopes and your dreams, and they make you fall in love with that. But what you're falling in love with is yourself. You're falling in love with your hopes, your dreams, your fantasies. Hear that helicopter there? This is London. I'm sorry, folks. It's not quite as peaceful as I'd want it to be. So, what they're doing is running a scripted program for you. Basically, it's mimicry, mimicking your hopes, your dreams, mirroring your desires, and sucking you in. Also, it felt comforting because most people come with a level of emotional weight about them, but it felt peaceful, very, very peaceful with him. Now, people like the narcissists are a walking void. There is nothing behind the mask. You think that there's something. You think that they're hiding behind their true self, behind the mask, but they're not. What they're hiding is that there's nothing behind the mask. Just a void, basically. And when you're an empath, highly sensitive person, a sort of intuitive type, like an INFP or an INFJ, those sorts of intuitive feeling types, when you meet someone that is a walking void, at times you'll think to yourself, it feels refreshing with this person. It feels peaceful. You feel at peace around this person. You feel like there's not a lot of emotional weight attached with them. You don't know why, and maybe you don't even think that deeply. You just feel really at peace with this person. But what you don't realize is that the reason why you feel peace is because there is nothing to them. It is just a void. But when you are an emotionally feeling person, you know, empathic, very empathic, intuitive, highly sensitive, then being out in the world in general can just feel like being in a noisy concert. And when you are in the company of a narcissist, before all the devaluing and drama and chaos begins, in the early stages, it just feels like leaving a noisy concert hall and going into a quiet, calm room. But what you don't realise is that calm room, that room that you think is so calm and quiet and peaceful, is actually a cold, damp, empty, void room. And what you thought and think was peace, it's not peace. It's a void waiting to suck you in. And that's exactly what they are. So I'm going to end it now. And next time, we're going to talk about how the illusion shatters. Once you realise that the Holosuite is fake and the illusion starts to shatter and there are glitches in the system. So, join me next time, where we will unravel that mystery. And for now, like, share, comment, subscribe, and join me from being a survivor to a thriver. Narc survivors. That's what we are. See you soon.